What's up guys? In this video, we're gonna be creating your seating chart for the wedding reception. This is what will be used to direct your guests to each of their seats once the cocktail hour has ended and it's time for your grand entrance. And you might be thinking, do I even need this? Can everyone just sit where they want? And the answer is, of course. Those weddings tend to be more casual with plenty of tables to choose from and a buffet style dinner where everyone can just get up and grab their own food as they please. However, most venues are rather limited on available space and number of tables. And so by implementing a seating chart, you get to maximize your reception space. That means that you have fewer tables that are needed, which means you have less decor that is needed, which means you save money. Not only that, but a seating chart will also help you put people together based on who they already know or with whom they might get along really well with. And for those weddings where you have separated families or people who just simply don't get along, this can really make sure everyone's comfortable and end up having a good time. So if we've stuck to the timeline we recommended in our checklist, then you should have sent out all of your wedding invitations when we were about 6 to 8 weeks away from the wedding. And with those invitations, your guests should have been able to submit their RSVP responses. Now, historically, most guests end up dragging their feet on this part and some don't bother sending an answer at all. So that's another reason why we recommend including an RSVP section on your website. That way, when your guests receive them, they can just go right onto the wedding website using the QR code and submit their RSVPs right then and there. And all the responses will come back to you in real time, so no one has to worry about mailing back those physical cards. Now, you might have a handful of people who still choose to mail their responses back, but most of everyone will do it right online because it's just way easier. And that means you can get an accurate number of how many guests will be attending the wedding very quickly. So if you did send those invitations out at the 6 to 8 week mark, then the deadline to have all those responses back should be within 3 to 4 weeks before the wedding. And from there, we then want to use those confirmed RSVPs to start building your seating chart. You should aim to have this completed when you're about 2 to 3 weeks before the wedding. So we're gonna start by exporting our guest list based on who's already confirmed they'll be at the wedding. In your planner, I want you to start listing out each person you can expect. And remember, a single RSVP can refer to a whole household of people. So make sure you list out each person individually, and make sure you include yourselves, the vendors, and anyone else who might have a seat. Once you've got this list looking good, we're gonna write the total guest count up at the top. Now let's make another list off to the side of our tables, and from here, we want to start grouping people together and assigning them to a table based on their relations. So maybe you've got a family of 4 here. That's easy, they'll all go to one table. I want you to start assigning all these big groups first, and then make sure that you're keeping track of how many seats are being filled up as you go. Now, depending on how many seats your tables can hold, will determine how you decide to organize everyone. Once you've got the big groups out of the way, it's time to start seeing where you can place each of the remaining people. Just try to keep in mind where everyone would be most comfortable and make sure everyone has someone that they can talk to. A lot of people organize these remaining guests based on their age or by their interests, so dinner is a little less awkward. Now, not everyone is going to fit perfectly within these tables of friends, but this should at least get you pretty close. Then from there, I would recommend going through each of these guests personally and make sure everything feels right. Maybe it's worth squeezing in an extra seat at one of those tables so everyone can be together. Or maybe you're better off adding an entirely new table altogether. Whatever you decide on, your guests will appreciate the time you took to make sure they're comfortable. And I want you to think back to the last wedding you attended. Were the people at your table people that you got along with or people that you knew? That wasn't on accident. So now that you've got everyone organized into their respective tables, we should be able to plug each of these groups right into our reception floor plan to see how everything looks. And so far, looking pretty good. But there are a few more things we want to consider. Number 1, keep in mind any accessibility needs of your guests. If we know grandma needs room for her wheelchair, we don't want to have her stuffed too tightly between tables where she won't be able to get out. So maybe we swap spots so that she's got plenty of room. Number 2, we want to be mindful of any hazard spaces. This might be things like tripods, lighting stands, drapery, or catering equipment. If you've got a coordinator, I'd be sure to find out what spots are typically being used by vendors or the waitstaff. If they plan on setting up lights here, and the waitstaff uses these spaces, the last thing we want to do is to have tables crowding too close together and potentially causing an incident. Number 3, if your guests have any children at these tables, we would recommend rearranging them so that they can sit in the seats closest to the dance floor. Kids are always the first to get up and dance and will likely be running back and forth from the dance floor throughout the night. So this will help make sure that they're not weaving in between tables and potentially hurting themselves or breaking something. And if you've got a lot of kids on that list, maybe just make a whole dedicated kids table. And finally, tip number 4, keep any of your elderly guests away from any loud speakers. Now I know we just put grandma here so she'd be more comfortable, but now she's getting her ears blown off by all this loud music, so we wanna make sure that we're actually putting her in a spot where that's not gonna happen. So we're gonna move her from this table over here. And bonus points if you can keep her close to the bathrooms. Like we said before, you should try to arrange the seating chart as best as you can for the comfort of your guests. So if that means you need to reach out and ask people if they'd be comfortable sitting with a particular person, then it's better to do that now rather than there be an incident on the wedding day. Once you've got your final layout of your seating chart looking good, your last step would be to order any name cards you want to include on those tables, as well as a master seating guide. This is where your guests will go to find their seats after cocktail hour is concluded. We've seen tons of super creative ways that couples have gone about displaying their seating arrangements. So if you want any inspiration for this, then check out our Pinterest board on seating chart decor. We'll throw a link to this board down below the video as well. And if you want to use any of the tools we use in this video, like our guest list organizer or the reception table diagrams, you can access the templates to each of these in the description down below this video, as well as in the resource section of this course. And if you have any questions about what we covered in this video, feel free to post those right in our private Facebook group, or email us directly at support@wedeverything.com. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget that you can subscribe to our channel right here, and we will see you in the next video.